Hello, welcome everyone. Welcome to the DreamUS National Scholarship Info Session. Let me just show you who's talking. Hello, welcome everyone. We're going to start in just 2 seconds as everyone joins and gets their audio logged on and everything. Thank you very much for being with us tonight. So today you're going to learn all about the DreamUS as a program and our national scholarship and how you can apply for it. You'll also meet a few members of the DreamUS team and graduates of the DreamUS program, including myself. So my name is Sadhana Singh. I serve as Senior Communications Manager for the DreamUS. And I'm also a DreamUS graduate. I graduated in 2018 thanks to this scholarship. So right now I'll turn it over to my colleague Camilla, who's going to introduce herself.
Hi everyone, my name is Camila Salkov. I am the Operations Manager here at the DreamUS.
Thank you, Camilla. And then Melanie.
Hi everyone, my name is Melanie Butron and I am the Program Manager at the DreamUS.
Thank you very much. So Camilla, Melanie, and myself are graduates of the DreamUS, and we currently work for the program. So you'll hear from us on a panel later on talking about our experiences. We also have another DreamUS graduate who's going to join us as well. So let's get started. I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my PowerPoint for today. Just so everyone knows, we are being recorded, and I will email you the recording and this PowerPoint after the presentation. So today we're talking about our national scholarship. Now, first of all, what is the DreamUS? We hope you've heard of us before. We provide undergraduate scholarships for undocumented students. We are the largest such program in the United States for dreamers. So far, we've given out 6,500 scholarships, and we have about 1,500 graduates. Now, we work with partner colleges across the US. So currently we have more than 70 partner colleges in 16 states and Washington, DC. Our goal for our program is to award 9,000 scholarships, hopefully to some of you, and have 7,000 graduates. All right, let's talk about the National Scholarship. So our scholarship opens on November 1st every year. And this year, the National Scholarship closes February 25th. In late April, the awards will be announced. Under the National Scholarship, there are 2 types. You can apply as a high school graduate to get an award of $37,000 for tuition, fees, books, and supplies for you to earn a bachelor's degree. Or you can apply as a community college graduate to get $31,000 for tuition, fees, books, and supplies for your bachelor's degree. So our partner colleges, as I mentioned, we have over 70 of them across the United States. You can only use our award at a partner college. And we partner with these colleges because they are proven to provide access to an affordable college education, and they are safe spaces for dreamers and undocumented students. We also work with them very closely to address other barriers facing undocumented students like tuition equity, careers, that kind of thing. And our common goal with the colleges is to have a 75% completion rate. So today, the scholars in our program do very well. So we have a 94% first-year persistence rate, an 83% overall persistence rate, and the average GPA of our scholars is a 3.2. All right, who's eligible for this scholarship? So you're eligible if you have current DACA or TPS status. You're also eligible if you came to the US before you were 16 years old. You've continuously lived in the US since November 1st, 2015, and had no other status. You graduated from a US high school, and you don't have a criminal record. Now, if this looks familiar, it's similar to the DACA criteria. So basically, you don't need to have DACA or TPS, but if you meet this criteria and you've been in the US since November 1st, 2015, you are eligible to apply for the scholarship. Now, what's the other criteria? So for high school graduates and community college graduates, Same thing as I just discussed, you have to have DACA TPS or arrived in the US before November 1st, 2015. For high school graduates, you have to graduate from a US high school by the end of this academic year with a GPA of 2.5 or greater. For community college graduates, you have to have graduated from your community college by the end of the academic year or the summer with a GPA of 3.0 or greater. For both programs, you cannot have enrolled in a four-year institution before. So you cannot have been enrolled in a bachelor's degree program. Now, for high school graduates, if you did attend some community college, you can't have earned more than 21 community college credits. Now, for both programs, you have to be eligible to get in-state tuition in the state you live in and at the partner college you want to attend. And as you apply to the DreamUS Scholarship, you must also separately apply to the partner college and be admitted. All right, so what does the application look like? So it's pretty straightforward. At first, we're going to ask you for some personal information. We're not going to collect your street address, but you're going to tell us the state where you live. You're going to certify that you meet that immigration eligibility criteria that I outlined. And then you're going to move on to the academic information. So you're going to choose the college that you want to attend. You're going to give us information on your high school and or your community college. You're going to provide your ACT or SAT test scores if you have them. They are optional. And next, we're going to ask for some financial information. So this is to determine your financial need for the scholarship. So we're going to ask for your annual household income, the number of people living in your household that's supported by that income, and the number of dependents supported by this income that will attend college in the next academic year. Now for responsibilities. We do want to know if you had volunteer experience or community service, but we understand that as undocumented students, we often have other responsibilities that prevent us from actually being able to do these things, during high school or during community college. So we call those home responsibilities, and we want to give you credit for those. So basically, we know that some undocumented students are often supporting their families at home and helping out in the household. This may be something like you're the only driver in the family, or you're the translator for your parents. You may also be taking care of your younger siblings or maybe your grandparents. So definitely put this in your application under home responsibilities, because we know that it may be challenging for you to have volunteerism or community service when you have these other responsibilities. Lastly, the essays are very important. So we do ask for 2 essays on your educational and career goals and challenges that you've overcome. So these essays, I will say, are kind of the crucial point of whether or not you may be awarded the scholarship. We recommend you start your essays early and you edit them, and you have, maybe a teacher or a mentor proofread them for you and give you feedback before you actually hit submit. So the supporting documents, the only documents you're going to submit to our application are going to be your high school or community college transcript. We accept unofficial or official transcripts, and they must show clearly the name of your school, your GPA, and the credits that you've earned. So I'm actually going to pause there and see if any questions have come in on the chat that I can answer. I know my other colleagues are also in the chat giving you answers as well, but please let me know, Melanie, if there's any I can answer right now.
Yes, they are coming in, which is really good. I believe the first question that hasn't been answered yet is, are the only partner colleges in New York the CUNY colleges?
Yes, that is correct. We partner with 18 of the CUNY colleges in New York.
Okay, next question from Tahani George. What if you haven't chosen a final choice as in a college choice when you're applying?
Good question. So depending on your state, you have a certain amount of colleges to choose from. Now, you do have to select a college on your application before you hit submit. So I recommend going to the college's website, learning about the college, contacting admissions, talking to them, make sure that you're making the right decision for you before you actually hit submit on your application. Now, you can go into your application and change that information right up until our deadline, which is February 25th.
Got it. Thank you, Sedana. A couple other questions we have in the chat are pertaining to, do you have to still be doing the volunteer or community services? I guess more than anything, what factors into that community service and volunteer work?
Got it.
Mhm.
Got it. Elena, do you want to elaborate on that?
So sorry, you'll have to tell me what the question was again. I was in the process of trying to answer a question in the chat box.
No worries, Elena. So this question's from Darling Ortiz. She's asking, do you have to still be doing the volunteer or community services in terms of listing it?
Got it. No, you do not. But we do want to know what you have done.
Got it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Another question here from Jimena Garcia Lopez. Even though SAT scores are not required, would it be better to submit them anyways?
Yes, absolutely. If you definitely are confident in your scores, definitely go ahead and submit them.
Okay, and this is an important question that we frequently receive. This one's from Alma Cruz. Can someone who is currently enrolled in a four-year institution send their application?
Unfortunately, no, you cannot already be enrolled in a four-year institution. And another thing I'll add to that, while you are applying to the scholarship, do not go and enroll in a four-year institution. So if you've already, have your high school diploma or your associate degree and you apply to our scholarship and you're going to start this spring at a four-year university, that will disqualify you from being chosen for the scholarship.
Got it. Another question here from Umade Ruplal. How do we know which partner schools are in our state?
Good question. So you'll go to the DreamUS website and you'll click on the National Scholarship. Now in the National Scholarship page, you'll see a tab that says Partner Colleges. We have a handy map on that tab where you can zoom in on your state and you'll see all the colleges in your state.
Got it. Now we have a lot more questions here. Is it okay to continue or?
Yeah, let's take a few more.
Okay, next question here. Hi, this is from Randy Kisoon. Hi, my name is Randy Kisoon. I only attended high school 2 years here, and I was told about this program through my youth leader. Can I still apply?
Elena?
I figured that one was coming to me. Randy, honestly, it's going to depend on what state you live in. Every state has different requirements for who is allowed to obtain in-state tuition. So like if you live in the state of Florida, unfortunately, you have to have been in high school in Florida for at least 3 years in order to obtain it. I believe Colorado might be 2 years. So it really depends on your state. So probably the best thing to do would be to reach out to the potential partner college that you want to attend and find out what the requirements are. As long as you qualify for in-state tuition at the partner college, then yes, you're still eligible to apply, provided you arrived into the US before the age of 16 and you meet all the other eligibility requirements.
Thank you, Elena.
Thank you, Elena. This is a good one. Sedana, we can continue. This is from Karen Hawks. Her question is, she mentioned that one must be able to pay in-state, but Arizona's school charges undocumented students out-of-state tuition. Can they still apply?
Yes, they can definitely still apply. I'll go ahead and take that one as well. What you have to make sure that you qualify for at Arizona State University is what's called the non-resident rate, which is 150% tuition rate. As long as you qualify for that through ASU, then yes, you're still eligible to apply.
Got it. Thank you, Elena. And we have a lot more. I don't know, Sedana, if you want to continue with the presentation or
Yeah,
through?
let's take a couple more questions and then we'll actually move on to our graduate panel.
Got it. Okay, this is a good one. Can this scholarship work for community college students of Philadelphia?
Elena, I believe that the option for Pennsylvania residents is to attend college online at Purdue Global. Is that correct, Elena?
That is correct. That is the only partner college option we have available in Pennsylvania.
Okay. And I'll ask one more question. This one is from Suliyat Saura. Hello, my name is Suliyat Saura, and I came to the United States in 2017 and before 16 years old, but I didn't come in 2015. Am I still eligible?
Unfortunately, you are not eligible for our scholarship, but one of my colleagues is going to put a link in the chat to another scholarship list. It's usually a whole bunch of other scholarships that are available to other undocumented students. Definitely check out that list to find other scholarships that you may qualify for. Thanks, Melanie. And with that, I'm actually going to stop sharing for a little bit. And then I'm going to ask some questions of our graduates so you get to see what this experience is actually like. So I'm going to spotlight us for you. And I'm going to, let's see if I can find. All right. All right, so we'll start with Melanie. Melanie, would you tell us a little bit about your background, where you're from, and what are some challenges that you've had with higher education as an undocumented student?
Yes, for sure. So to begin, I was born in Ecuador and immigrated with my family here at the age of 1 in 1996. Since then, I've been raised in Chicago, attended a graduated from Chicago public school system. And as an undocumented individual, I always knew that I was, like, what my status was. Growing up, I just thought that meant not being able to enter Radio Disney contests because they say must be a US citizen or resident to enter, or fly in a plane. And I thought those were the only obstacles with my status. But it wasn't until I was a junior in high school and I actually wanted to join the Navy on a ROTC scholarship. And I actually had gotten the scholarship. They awarded it to me. However, when it came time to asking me for a social security number, unfortunately, I didn't have one. So they rescinded the offer. And so the obstacles there was, one, not being eligible for a lot of scholarships. Two, not being eligible for federal financial aid or state aid. And three, a lot of the scholarships at the time in 2013, a lot of them required citizenship or residency or to be eligible to apply. So a lot of my barriers were trying to find a scholarship or those types of financial support for me to pursue college. I am the first in my family to graduate from college, but figuring all that out on my own was kind of difficult. And so as an undocumented student, I decided to attend a community college because it's a lot more affordable. And from there, once I obtained my associate's degree, I found out about the DreamUS Scholarship, where I transferred to Northeastern Illinois University, majored in business administration, and essentially the scholarship paid for my full tuition at Northeastern. So I was able to be the first in my family to graduate with no debt.
And that was an amazing feeling because I had the same thing. So I'll tell you a little bit about myself. My family actually moved to the state of Georgia when I was 13. So I'm originally from Guyana in South America. I also always knew of my status growing up in Georgia, and it was something that I kept a secret. So in the area that we lived in, we didn't really have another community of dreamers or undocumented folks. The only other dreamer I knew was basically my brother. So it really was just a tight-knit family. And, we just figured things out on our own. I didn't even call myself a dreamer. I just wasn't, part of any community like that. So in Georgia, when I graduated high school in 2005, I actually was barred from attending college in the state of Georgia because they did not recognize me as having lawful presence. And even when I got DACA, they still didn't let me attend college in Georgia. So it turns out that I had to wait about 10 years after high school to learn about the DreamUS and apply. So the whole time, I just knew that a college education was something that I really wanted. And if I wanted to achieve my dreams, I was going to get it, through a bachelor's degree. So I just held on to that hope. And thankfully, the DreamUS came about. And I was able to get a full ride scholarship to Trinity Washington University in DC. However, I did have to pay for my own room and board to leave the state of Georgia to DC. And up till today, it's one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. This scholarship really changed my life and opened a lot of doors for me. So now I want to pivot to Camilla. Tell us about where you're from and your story.
Yeah, so a little bit about myself. I came to the United States 2 days before I turned 16. I am originally from Chile, so I was born and raised in Santiago, Chile. And my story, just like Sedana and Melanie, it's the same, but it's different. I also had to wait about 5 to 6 years before I could attend college. My main struggle, I think, in my family struggle was financial, and also the lack of information. I was the oldest sister, and coming from, my own country, we just had to figure things out on our own. We didn't have any family here. We didn't speak the language, and it was rough, and I know that all of our stories are probably the same in a sense that it was difficult and we've been through a lot. And I think the main challenge, obviously, that I had myself is that I was always told by my parents, you're going to be better than me. You're going to be more than what we are. And it gets to the point where I'm supposed to graduate high school here and I couldn't attend college because I didn't get a full scholarship. And I mean, getting a full scholarship is pretty difficult. And at this time, they were like, I remember my career advisor was like, you need a social security number. And I'm like, I don't know what that is. I had no one to talk to. I was so lost. So after being out in the world for 6 years, feeling like a complete failure because I always thought that I would go to college, but I couldn't. My sister got the DreamUS Scholarship. She was told by an advisor, and my mom actually saw something on the Spanish channel where Gaby Pacheco was saying, guys, apply to this wonderful scholarship. It's for all people that have DACA. And I had DACA, I was working, and my sister got the scholarship. I waited a year, and the next year I applied, and then I was awarded the scholarship. I went to Trinity Washington University, just like Sedana. So we were in school together, actually. And I got a major in accounting with a minor in business. Later on my own, I started working and I was able to pay for my own master's degree with the help of my employer, and recently graduated with a master's in business administration and MBA with a concentration in management. So if we can do it, you can do it too.
Absolutely. Thanks, Camilla. And then our next panelist is Myford Noel. So Myford, I'm going to have you share a little bit of your story and tell us some struggles you had, with higher education as an undocumented student.
Sure. I came to the US after the earthquake in Haiti back in 2010. And when I arrived, I had nobody in the country. So I was living with a friend, babysitting, and the options that I saw available to me were very concerning. And I realized this is not the reason that I had left my country. I left my country for a better life. I decided to put myself into GED school. And after I graduated, I decided to pursue higher education. So I looked up for the cheapest school available. So I attended Broward College in Broward County, Florida. And I was able to obtain my associate degree by paying for it myself, working full time, sometimes up to 3 jobs while going to college full time. And I was able to graduate with a 4.0 GPA. So after I discovered that I wanted to pursue even higher education, and thankfully, my college had gone from a community college to a 4-year college. So I decided to apply for. I went to ask for more information in regards to the 4-year program that they had available, and I discovered about the DreamUS Scholarship. At first, I thought that's not real. I don't have documentation. And everywhere that I've been, they told me because of my immigration status, I'm not able to receive any financial aid, even though I qualified for the highest level scholarship available. My immigration status kept me out because it's either you are permanent resident or you are a citizen of the US. So with the DreamUS, I decided to submit all of my information. I was equally skeptical, like many of you may be right now, but I am very happy that I did not waste time to apply for the scholarship, and I was selected to be awarded the scholarship funds, and I was able to graduate with 4 degrees, my bachelor's degree, and 3 other associate degrees, and I was able to obtain several professional certifications as well as part of my bachelor's degree. So with the help of the scholarship, I was able to become a professional. I was able to study in the things that I'm passionate about. I'm passionate about logistics and supply chain, the movement of goods, and that has always been my passion. So being able to give in that money to fulfill my longtime dream was very special to me, and I'm very grateful to the Dream.US for allowing me to pursue my dreams and to make my dreams come true. And because of the scholarship and the degrees that I've acquired, I was able to become an international citizen, basically. So with my professionalism and my career development and my skills, I was able to get a job here in Canada and have an employer apply for a work visa for me. I did not spend a dime, and currently applying for permanent residency, which costs about $10,000 here in Canada, and with $0. So everything is being done for me because the company here wants me to stay with them and to help them develop and bring a lot of success to the organization. And I imagine myself back in my country when I was at my lowest, and I'm sitting with the VPs and the directors where my voice matters. And when I speak with authority and I speak with knowledge, and I'm able to have directors and VPs realize that maybe the decision they're about to make is not ideal. So this is the power of the scholarship. So if you want to become someone, not because you want to be important, but because you want to be better for yourself.
Thank
So
you,
with the
Mike
help
Ford.
of the scholarship,
Thank you
I
very
was
much.
able to.
So what My Ford's demonstrating is really how far you can go with a bachelor's degree and how the Dream.US helps you get there. So, wherever you are now, there are challenges and struggles with your status, but it won't always be this way. Your first step, you showing up here tonight, you starting this application is your first step to a better life for yourself and for your family. So I'm going to move on to Melanie. I'm going to ask you, Melanie, first, how did you hear about the DreamUS? Camilla and Myford talked a little bit about how they heard. How did you hear about the DreamUS? And what was your experience with the DreamUS as a community college graduate?
Yes, so I've heard it in multiple ways. I've heard it first through a info session like this from a scholar advisor in Northeastern. At the time, I was at Wright College Humboldt Park, and she was basically presenting as a partner college about the scholarship. I remember thinking when she told me at the time, I think it was 27,000, now it's 33,000. And I remember thinking like, this is too good to be true. Like, you're telling me this scholarship is at the time $27,000. And then she's like, yes. And then I said, okay, let me apply. Where's the link? Let me get started, right? Because you're telling me this amount, and it covered my full tuition at Northeastern, which is why I enrolled there. I also heard through television networks, like Camila said, the Spanish ones. My parents are always telling me, hey, I heard there's scholarships for undocumented students, go check them out. And just really through word of mouth, friends, counselors, neighbors, everyone. So as a community college graduate, at that time, it was the spring of 2017. I was about to graduate with my associate's in arts degree. And please note, it took me 4 years to obtain my associate's degree. And so by the time I was graduated with my associate's degree that spring, I applied for the DreamUS. And when I did apply, I know the application may seem a little intimidating, especially when it comes to the eligibility criteria. I know we have a lot of questions in the chat box, but really just go through the website and determine if you're eligible. And even if you're not, or not if you're not, determine if you're eligible, or if you're not sure, ask in the chat box, call the number, call ISTS or email, or just make sure that you don't auto eliminate yourself if you don't understand some of the eligibility criteria. Which is what I did, right? I wanted to make sure that I'm not taking myself out of the game. And in terms of other application processes, I'm not gonna lie, I'm one that leaves things to the last minute, at least then, not now. But it's definitely something that I recommend not doing with this application. Really take your time with it, answer all the questions truthfully. With the essays especially, I feel like I'm not a good writer, or and so I have like my friends check them, my counselors, my advisors, my professors read those essays and make sure that I'm answering the questions and answering them truthfully. In terms of the application process, what I thought about it, my feelings throughout it. And I swear you not, I submitted it like 11:59 with 59 seconds. And that is not the adrenaline you want with this type of important opportunity. So as a community college graduate, it was really refreshing to have been able to have that associate's degree transfer seamlessly. And I know this is one of the questions in the chat box. Do I have to apply for the partner college separately and the scholarship separately? Yes. So at the same time, I was applying to Northeastern Illinois University with whatever admissions questions they required and the scholarship. So hopefully that clears up any questions about that application process.
Thank you, Melanie. That's really great advice. So I heard about the scholarship. So I'd been working that whole time, throughout that 10 years. And by then I got a little comfortable. I told my coworkers about my status. They were allies. They were very understanding. And then one of my coworkers similarly heard Gabby Pacheco on the radio talking about the scholarship. If some of you are familiar, Gabby Pacheco is an immigrants' rights activist who, was instrumental in bringing about DACA. And so she is part of the DreamUS team. She promotes our scholarship on the radio, on Spanish television. And so one of my coworkers heard her. He came to me and he said, "Oh, Sedana, I think what they're describing is you." And I was like, "What?" And so I also thought it was too good to be true. At the time, Trinity, Washington was the only college I was able to attend. So there's a question in the chat about Trinity. It's a private college. So there's no in-state tuition requirement. So if you're from Maryland and you want to attend Trinity, you can, because it is a private school. So from Georgia, I was able to attend Trinity. However, I also didn't think it was true. So while I was applying for the scholarship, I looked up the Trinity admissions person, and I basically was calling that person every single day. So that's another great thing you can do as well. We have staff at the partner colleges that are dedicated to help the DreamUS scholars and applicants. So they know all about our program. You can look them up, you can call, you can ask them questions specifically for undocumented students and for dreamers at the college you're interested in. They will help you out. So then I'm not going to turn it over to Camilla. And Camilla, what advice can you give, the applicants or the students here about taking this chance to apply and, how to be a successful applicant?
So we are all here because we all share the same experience. We are all, or we have all been undocumented or documented. In my case, I have DACA. And the only advice that I can give you guys is, I'm assuming that you guys are all young or probably my age, and you know what it's like to be in the workforce, or if you're still in school, you don't know what's coming your way. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be hard. There are going to be many times when you're going to work really hard and no one's going to see you, because it happened to me. So you want that promotion, they're not going to give it to you if you don't have a degree. You don't understand how life works until you're there and you're working really hard and you're giving your 100%, and you can see other people succeed, but you don't see yourself succeeding because you don't have that college degree. That college degree is going to make a huge difference. Like my Ford was saying, it's the first time that I felt like I was noticed. It's true. Your voice does not matter without that education. You can be the best at whatever, but without that education, you just don't have that academic background that will get you to the next step in your life. So, this is one of those opportunities that's kind of like, is this even real? Can this happen to me? Am I special enough? And I feel like that's why our community, and being from Chile specifically, like it's one of those things where it's like, no, it's not for me. I'm not special enough. But you know what? You guys are just like me. They're just like all of us. And that's what we're here trying to relay this message to you. You are special. We are here for you. We are a really tight community. We all help each other. If I can help you with anything, feel free to do that. But this is the time when applying, it's going to be extremely crucial for your development and for your future. Yep. Just give yourself a chance. This is for you, and whatever you need, we have all the tools.
Thank you, Camilla. And similarly to My Ford, so My Ford is a TPS recipient, and as you can see from his story, he just made the most of this opportunity. Our status is temporary, but you just take advantage of the opportunities. So My Ford, tell us what advice you would give to everyone here who's thinking about applying, to encourage them to apply today.
I have a very long list of advices, but I'll stick to a few of them. The first one is, after this session, go online and apply immediately. Start the application and do not delay, because you cannot begin to comprehend the change that will come in your life by getting this scholarship, especially the opportunity scholarship or even the national scholarship. I was a national scholarship recipient from the DreamUS, and I made the best of it. By getting the scholarship, as I stated prior, your life will change forever, and it's going to be for the better. My second advice is, do not get complacent. Starting the application is just the beginning, but completing the application in a timely manner is very important. Do not delay. Take every action you can to see if you qualify. If, for example, you read, you go to the website, there's some questions that are tricky and you do not fully understand the question, I highly recommend that you call 10 million times until you can speak to somebody who can give you the answer you need to make the decision to apply or not. I would say call at midnight, call all the time. You owe yourself this opportunity to make a big change in your life. And I highly recommend that you go and you apply. And even if you don't like writing, I hate writing. That's not something that I like doing. However, I type, I leave it alone, and then I type again. Do not delete anything, especially for the essay. Your thoughts will come in bits. So by erasing and then try typing again, you are setting yourself back. So type everything and then try to make a sense of everything that you've typed over 2 days, 3 days. It doesn't matter, but you need to complete the application as soon as possible because the changes coming your way will be extremely, extremely, extremely important and life changing.
Thank you, My Ford. Yep. So I agree with everyone. I mean, it makes a difference once you have your degree. And it's something that no one else is going to do for you. You know, a lot of us are first generation college students, or we will be because we don't have an older sibling, or we don't have, you know, maybe our parents didn't get the chance to go to college. So we're sort of pioneers. And with, you know, pioneering comes the fact that you're able to then share the experience with others and give back, just like our graduates today on the panel. I mean, one thing about Dreamers is that we really love helping others and sharing, you know, our experiences. So I want to thank everyone on the panel today for sharing your story. As you can see, there's a lot of, you know, a lot of encouragement for you to start your application. Thank you for keeping the chat so active. I see questions coming. My colleagues are trying their best to answer you. I did put a couple of links right there in the chat. So first is our actual scholarship page. You'll find the criteria that I just went over. You'll find, you know, all the requirements. You'll also find what's called the National Scholarship Application Guidelines. So this is a PDF document that you can click on from the website. It'll show you how to determine if you are eligible, and it'll show you how to complete the application. It also shows you how to check the status of your application afterward. So go ahead to that guidelines link that I put in the chat, and you'll find more help there. Also, one of my colleagues will put later in the chat the number for ISTS. So that's also on the website. ISTS is the program we work with that hosts our application. They are also there to help you. So if you don't get your question answered by us here tonight, go ahead and call that number from ISTS. Like Myford said, email them, tell them that you're, you know, you want to learn about the National Scholarship, you're a National Scholarship applicant, and they will help you. So thank you again very much to our panel. We're really, really glad to have you all with us to share, you know, your wisdom, everything you've gone through, and to make sure that other people benefit as well. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to share my PowerPoint again, just to share a few more things with you about our scholarship. Continue to put your questions in there. My colleagues are going to do the best to answer them. And also we're going to take some other questions near the end as well. All right, so I'm gonna go back here and tell you about the timeline. So as I mentioned, our scholarship opens November 1st every year. That's something you can count on. And this year it closes February 25th. So you have just about a month to get your application done, and it can be done. Again, as Melanie said, you don't want to wait until the last minute to do this. It's best if you just start working on it now. Start talking to the college, start calling ISTS, get your questions answered early, submit the application. You don't have to worry about it till April when you will hear from ISTS. One thing you want to keep a track of is your email. So the email that you use to start the application is the email where you're going to get the notifications and all of that stuff. So make sure your email is correct. Make sure it's an email you're checking regularly. That's where we're also going to be sending you reminders and things like that. So in late April is when you're going to get notified if you get the scholarship or not. Now, most of our graduates are talking about how the scholarship changed their life. And it's not just academics, right? It's not just that we realized that we, you know, went to college and got good grades. It's also that we became better people. And, you know, with the partner college staff and with the DreamUS, we help you through your college journey. So if you're awarded this scholarship, you're actually joining a national community of over 6,000 Dreamer scholars and graduates. Again, that is something I did not have in 2005 when I was a Dreamer out of high school. So you're going to be able to interact with the other scholars and the graduates in our program in a Facebook community. So our Facebook community has about 4,000 of our scholars and graduates. You will be, onboarded into that group once you're awarded the scholarship. You'll be able to meet other scholars at your college, share resources, ask questions. It's a really great community that just like our graduates, they're going to support you and give you advice, as our graduates did here today. As I mentioned, you're also going to have a scholar and financial aid advisor at every single one of these partner colleges. They're going to be sort of your person on campus that you can go to for all things, undocumented, all things TheDream.US. They're going to be able to give you resources, point you in the right direction, help you with your academic plan, make sure you don't run out of money. They're definitely going to be your go-to person on campus. Next, from TheDream.US, we always provide mental health resources. We'll provide you with grad school resources. We'll offer you immigration resources. For example, TheDream.US hosts a monthly immigration office hours. So this is available to our scholars in the program. We basically have an immigration attorney that volunteers his time to answer your questions every month. And this is something that's available to the scholars in our program. We're also able to give emergency grants. For example, during COVID, if our scholars lost their jobs or maybe their parents aren't working, and we're also able to give DACA renewal grants for certain periods of time. Also, we're constantly working on changing the narrative and changing the policy for undocumented students. So at TheDream.US, we're constantly making sure that once you graduate with that degree, you have a career and you have a job that you can go to and you're able to be hired. We're also making sure that you're able to do internships while you're in college. And also on the state and federal level, we're advocating, for immigration legislation, and we're advocating for tuition equity and state aid to increase access to college for more undocumented students. So our message to you today, if it wasn't clear before, is that you belong in college. So college will open up so many doors for you. It'll take you to places and rooms that you never thought you would be in. It will expand your network, not only of other dreamers, but of professionals, of education professionals. It'll definitely help you advance yourself and your family. Next, if we know of any legislation that might happen this year, any DREAM Act that may come about again, you will definitely have an edge being a college student. And at the end of the 4 years, you will be all that more in an advantageous position with a bachelor's degree. And lastly, no one can take your college education from you. And this is something I want to reiterate that my Fort said, you can take your degree anywhere in the world. You can take your degree any state in the United States and any country in the world. You will always be a college graduate. So lastly, I just want to say that we will support you on your college journey. You're getting more than just scholarship funds. You're getting a whole community of like-minded people who've had similar experiences and a dedicated, DreamUS team and a partner college team that will support you. So that is the end of our presentation, but I'll go ahead and stop sharing and we'll take some more questions from the chat.
Sorry, I was sneezing. Okay, so a couple of questions coming in here. This one is from someone named Mama. If I have 21 college credits, having graduated high school in 2016, do I still qualify for the scholarship?
Yes, you can have up to 21 college credits at a community college. Now, if you have 21 college credits at a four-year university, you do not qualify.
I will also add to that, just in case this was more of the question, if those credits were earned in a dual enrollment program while you were in high school, those do not count towards the 21 credit limit that we have.
Thanks, Elena.
Another question we have here. Does the scholarship only cover 4 years or can it be used for 5 or more?
Okay, so with our scholarship for a bachelor's degree, you actually have 6 years to complete your bachelor's degree. However, you do have that limited amount of funds. So while you may take 6 years to complete your bachelor's degree, if you run out of funds, you will have to cover the rest of the costs in other means. So we do recommend that if you are in a state that provides state aid for dreamers, you must apply for state aid. So that will be sort of a supplemental aid that you will get plus the DreamUS scholarship. And then again, apply to other scholarships. So one of my colleagues is going to drop that link to the other scholarship list. You definitely want to get as much funding as you can to cover all the costs of your college.
Thank you, Sedana. This question is from Fuentes. I know he had asked this earlier in the chat. Can I graduate from a community college with a certification, example, RN certification, or does it have to be an associate's?
Elena?
I'm trying to think that one through. If you are looking to earn a bachelor's degree, yes, you can go ahead and apply. If you are then looking to get like another, even though that one's only a certificate, and you're looking to do like just a community college degree, you would have to be going into a 4-year program. I guess, let me just put it that way. So the certificate would ultimately count like you have been to community college and you would be graduating as a community college graduate.
Thank you, Lena. Okay. Another question here. This one's from Dora Ramirez. She is asking, I've had DACA since 2013 and recently got approved for a visa U. Could I still be a potential candidate for the scholarship?
So once you're able to have a sort of legal status like a visa or permanent residency, you're able to apply for FAFSA, meaning you're able to get federal financial aid and you're able to apply for the Pell Grant. So while you are completely undocumented and have no status other than, DACA or TPS, yes, you can apply to our scholarship. You can become a DreamUS scholar. However, once you actually have a visa or permanent residence, you will not be able to get the scholarship as you'll be able to have federal financial aid.
This next question is multiple questions from the same person. Her name is Lizeth Ortiz. She is asking, do you have to be a certain age to apply? Can you change your college option? Can I still edit my essay? And where do I do the partner college application?
All right, so there's no age limit to apply. You just have to have come to the United States before you were 16. So as I mentioned in my story, I applied 10 years after I graduated high school. So I started college as a 28-year-old. So it doesn't matter when you graduated high school and it doesn't matter when you graduated community college, but for the eligibility, you have to have come to the United States before you were 16. And as I mentioned, you can go in and change your partner college up until the deadline, February 25th. Again, I believe the same for the essays. Elena, correct me if I'm wrong. You can go in and edit your essays as well.
Absolutely.
Great. And then what's the other part of the question, Melanie?
The last one is, where do I go to apply for the partner college application?
Okay, great question. So you're going to go directly to the college website. So go directly to the college website, look at admissions, and wherever it says to apply to attend the school, you do that just as you would a traditional college application.
Got it. Next one, we've gotten a lot of questions, Sedana, regarding recommendations. Letter of recommendations, are they needed? Is there a certain time frame or deadline that they have to submit recommendations for the scholarship application?
Elena?
They are not required. There's not a place to upload anything for a recommendation, anything like that. The only thing that is asked of you in the application is to provide the name, email, address, and potential phone number of somebody that would be willing to give you a reference. And that would just be at our discretion to reach out to that person for a recommendation. I will just kind of throw it out there. We have not done that in the past. So when we have thousands upon thousands of applications coming in, it's really kind of hard to call that many people. So it would only be in extreme circumstances where we needed to potentially get some additional information about you that we would actually reach out to that person.
Got it. And I see questions in the chat. I'll just call some out as well. Can you only receive the scholarship if you go to the DreamUS partner college? Yes, that's correct. To be able to receive the scholarship, you must attend one of the partner colleges in our program. If you apply to the partner college and you don't get accepted to the partner college, you cannot use our award there. Basically, you would try another partner college that's available to you. And then another question that came in that I'm seeing is how can you buy books for classes with the scholarship money? So the scholarship is not given to you physically. It's not something that you have to manage. It goes directly to your partner college. Now, for some of you, depending on the state and the college, you do get a stipend for books and supplies. Now, the partner college will then give you that stipend separately for you to be able to buy books and supplies, but each college, administers that stipend separately and different, so we can't speak to how each college will do that, but you will get a certain amount of money every semester for books and supplies. Melanie, any other questions that jump out?
Yes. Let's see. We have a lot of questions here. Sorry, I had lost my place because they like refresh.
Yeah, I'm trying to scroll as well so we can answer as many as we can.
Oh, this is a good one. This one is from Wildy Mendoza. She is asking, or they're asking, is there an income qualification?
All right, Elena?
No, you would just need to put down what it is that you're receiving or your family has received as far as income. We do take a look at that, and there's the potential for a cutoff, but there's a lot of factors that go into play with that. It's very similar to folks that are able to complete the FAFSA. They look at your family income, how many people is that income supporting, and then in addition to that, how many people would be in college the coming fall. So there's a lot of factors that play into it. So there's not a dollar amount that I can provide because it varies for everyone. But I wanted to, while you're possibly looking for other questions, something that I've seen kind of come up on multiple occasions, for everyone who's just now starting the process of applying for DACA, you would still be eligible to complete the application. Right now, because you do not have DACA, you would select that you meet the immigration eligibility criteria that we have, not DACA, because if you say you have DACA, we're going to ask for specific DACA information. So as long as you meet the immigration eligibility criteria pre-receiving DACA, that is what you would mark.
Thank you. And I see some questions coming in about our scholarship as it pertains to the New York DREAM Act or the New York Jose Peralta Act. If Hayne is on the call, Hayne, would you want to speak to that really quick? I'm not sure if she's able to speak, but they are separate. So our scholarship is completely separate from the New York DREAM Act or the Jose Peralta Act. Now, you must apply to those to be able to get state aid, again, to supplement your funds for college along with our award as well. All right, we are right at the time limit. We are gonna, close out here, and we are gonna send the recording and this PowerPoint to everyone afterward. Again, please let me put the information for ISTS right in the chat right now, so you all know to have that information. Again, all of this is on our website. Thank you for those in the chat that have been resharing our links to help us. We really appreciate that. I just put the ISTS information. So thank you very much for being with us. We really appreciate spending this time telling you about our scholarship. You got to meet some of the DreamUS team and some of the graduates of the program. So we hope that you, again, complete that application before the deadline, or if you haven't started it yet, go start it right now after this. So thank you very much. We'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Good luck. You'll do awesome.